This isn't going to be some temporary comfort that'll fade when you scroll onto the next video. If you push through this video's lack of BS mental health advice, like, oh, just be happy, just love yourself, find Jesus, just don't kill yourself. If you listen and follow the advice in this video, your life's suffering will end. This is not some cute, empty words that'll make you feel better. This is the plan, the exact fucking method, the most practical roadmap that I used to get myself out of what my psychiatrist told me was a mental illness. So to end your suffering, you need to simply become so good at life to where it's easy. Hear me out. If you were perfect, a god, good at everything like that one person that you secretly want to switch bodies with, life would be hella fun. Your schoolwork wouldn't eat you alive because you would be a genius and you could do it in like 7 seconds. Your work or your job becomes peaceful. You're just going about your day and being like, damn, yeah, this is chill. You won't get outcasted for being that weird geek. Instead, you'll be that mysterious protagonist that has aura. And you would actually be free financially and time-wise because you would become so good at those skills, so good at life, to where you can like easily get out of the mental trenches you're in and just chill. Life at the point of you being completely, fully locked in would be amazing and you won't suffer. But right now, you're not him. Right now, you're not that guy that you wish you could just snap your fingers and become. You right now suck at life. You just play video games and watch porn in your sad little room all day. Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, it hurts being called out, but again, this has never been talked about in any mainstream mental health advice. And you know this yourself, like loving yourself. It's okay who you are who you are. Like me and you both know that never fucking works, bro. The reason is because you can't love yourself because you're not even fucking worthy of being loved. You're not locked in. The only reason you suffer is because you aren't that perfect version of you to where life is easy. And you yourself can confirm that because you always think to yourself like, oh, I hate my life, I'm cutting myself, and I want to die. Like, if you were perfect, you wouldn't want to die. You won't suffer. So let's fix that. The only reason you aren't good at life is because you're good at the bad habits. You've literally been putting more hours into video games than you have in your actual life. If you spend that time in yourself rather than temporary comfort and pleasure, you will feel eternal comfort and pleasure in life. Same way you find comfort in video games and porn and anime. Stop doing them and lock in on your fitness, on your diet, on your skin, on your business, on meditation. Just put in work on the tasks that you know will get you towards that goal that you want to achieve. But it's hard doing those tasks. It's so much easier to get good at binge watching solo leveling instead of actually solo leveling. It's so much easier to get good at Valorant than it is to get good at business. So what do you do to make that work easy? Because I'm not trying to have you struggle doing the hard work when there's a method that makes it easy and fun to do the hard work. More fun than video games. More fun than video games. You need to understand that your brain purposefully makes you suffer. Because throughout your day, you feel a variation of 3 emotions. You're either really motivated, really happy, in like ecstasy. You feel kind of fine, emotionless, content. And then you feel shit. What nobody tells you, what no psychiatrist or therapist tells you, is that every time you fuck up, every time you binge a show, every time you eat something with sugar, every time you go on like an 18-hour gaming session, you feel extremely motivated, extremely high when you sit back and play video games, when you sit back and watch the newest episode of your anime. But then you crash, then you hate yourself, then you hate life after you finish your binge session, after your gaming marathon, after you smoke. This leads to people continuing to fucking themselves up, continue to waste time, continue to be a failure so they would feel motivated and high again, but then they crash even harder, and that just makes them hate themselves even more because your brain is hardwired biologically to average every emotion to the middle contentment level. Because ask yourself this, how is it that in ancient human times where lives were so shit, when we had to fight in wars, when we had to deal with famine, when we were like starving to death and our mom was like dying of like tuberculosis or some shit, why is it that nobody was killing themselves during this hard time. The brain needed some kind of way to adapt to deal with these depressing times. And so it forcibly took those miserable events, those depressing ass events, and averaged it out, forcibly moved it up to the middle contentment level. It forcibly made you perceive that those shit situations are actually not that bad. It doesn't mean that it was good, it was still bad, right? Nobody wants to live in that time, but your brain forcibly averaged it out. And we can actually use this to our advantage. We can use it to make the work that we have to do fun, and that'll allow us to continue becoming that ideal version of ourselves to where life is easy. If we do hard ass work, like cranking out a solid 4 hours on our business, of a solid 2 hours of studying, a crazy leg workout with drop sets, yeah, it's gonna be fucking hard. I'm not even gonna lie. But if you press on, if you continue trudging through that mountain of snow, trudging through that difficult work, your brain will literally see that and forcibly switch you up to motivation, to happiness. And you might be able to actually confirm this, because if I asked you, when was the best period of your life? Not the best time, right? You could have the best time like when you were high on weed or some shit. When was the best period of your life? Probably it was the period when you were actually progressing the most. Probably it was the period where you were getting crazy amounts of grades. Remember, I didn't ask which period you enjoyed the most. Which period do you remember the most? It's probably the period where you were an academic weapon. It's probably the period when you were making crazy fucking gains in your business. Boys, we are so back. When you were actually getting fast amounts of muscle, when you were actually putting in work and getting results out of that. Like, for me, I've done hundreds of workouts, and the one that I remember most clearly was that one singular workout when I went with my friend and we hit legs and we were forcing each other to go completely all out with crazy drop sets, and we couldn't walk for 4 days after that. That's the workout I remember. I don't remember all the workouts where I just kind of did it. You know, I just did it for the sake of doing it. I can't remember those workouts. But that workout where I went all out, I remember it because my brain forcibly took that hard ass, depressing, miserable, trudging through those squats, and it forcibly averaged it up to where I actually felt something. That means to stop suffering, to stop feeling depressed, you need to make your life miserably hard. Don't confuse that with miserably depressing, as that's only caused by your brain after it gets bombarded with stimulation. Make your life miserably hard, as in 5 hours of business work on top of school, as in going to the gym after school, even when you're cooked and you're tired and you just want to rot in your bed all day. Make your life miserably hard. Just get out there and dial in. And now that you know that, oh, okay, I'll actually feel happier when I do it, it's so much easier for you to get up and do that, because you now know the harder you lock in, the more fun you will have in life, and that'll allow you to become that ideal version of you, to where you are so good at life to where nothing fucking bothers you and you just stop suffering. Now, I'm gonna give you the most practical way to apply this in your life. Because your brain anticipates that today you're gonna go and spaz out on like your addictions, on stimulation, it's gonna preemptively lower your happiness level to where you still feel depressed even though like you haven't really done anything. It's preemptively lowering your happiness level because it still anticipates that you're gonna spike up your happiness level, and so it wants like the easiest way to average it out. So you might not have that motivation, that energy to go out there and get that work done. I can honestly relate to that. Like every time someone would tell me to lock in, I'd be like, bro, I literally can't even fucking imagine myself locking in because all I know is failure. So today, I need you to never get close to anything that can cause you to quote unquote fuck up. Don't turn on your PC, power off your phone. Don't even stay in your home for a grand total of 3 days. For 3 days, starting now, have your phone, computer, junk food, Nick, bars, have it completely out of your life. That realistically looks like you staring at the sky outside all day, coming home to only eat and sleep. 3 days. 3 days, don't do anything. Just like literally stare at the sky for 3 whole days. Is it that hard to do nothing for 3 days? There's no work required for you. You just have to stare at like a wall and watch fucking paint dry for 3 days. Now, I'm not gonna lie, for you, there's probably gonna be some random fucking way that you just end up failing. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna sugarcoat things to you, because my one-on-one clients, they kept relapsing and they couldn't do nothing for 3 days. They were bored, or they felt like they had it in the bag and they could lock in, and that just made them fail again. And so my advice to that is for you to do extremely brain dead, easy tasks that require zero physical and mental effort. Cleaning your room requires no thinking. Just put your socks away and make your fucking bed. Washing the dishes, zero thinking. Walking around your neighborhood looking at the sky, zero thinking. That is pretty much the same thing as doing nothing, as your brain is bored out of your fucking mind, but it's still calming down to where it's like, okay, my life is getting kind of boring, so I'm gonna forcefully, maybe preemptively raise my happiness level. Now, if you still somehow fail, if you still somehow end up relapsing, end up fucking up, not sticking to the plan, and then you go for like a full-on gooning session, and then you hate your life after that and you want to kill yourself, I want you to know that there is a way to have 100% chance that your suffering ends on day 1. On day 1, your suffering ends. 100% fucking chance. Not 99%, not 97%. 100% chance on day 1. There's no amount of fucking therapy, there's no drug or psychiatrist that can ever fucking do that. I'm not fucking lying. This is literally what happened to Kevin, where on day 1, his stress was completely eradicated. 13 days later, he became completely locked in. But on day 1, he's just stopped suffering already. That is fucking insane. If you want to know how to do that, just shoot me a DM on Discord or join my Discord server, and I'll tell you how you can do that.